Good day, YouTubers. Today, for Bobby's Vinyl Views, I'll be reviewing the 3 Colonel Sanders KFC Christmas albums, which the Colonel put together specifically for Kentucky Fried Chicken for the Christmas season, featuring some of his favorite artists popular in the 60s. Unfortunately, there was no Beatles on there, but I love KFC. I love the way that the Colonel lived and his hardworking ambitions, the way that he carried himself, and just the man that he was and the hard worker that he was prior to making the business that he is well known for at the age of 65. He was not a young man when he did it. But in his 70s, he decided, in the Christmas season, from 1967 to 1969, 3 Christmas albums, he decided to put together Christmas album compilations to be featured, or to be available during the Christmas season at his restaurants, KFC, the chain. And it's pretty popular. A lot of people order them. I actually have the 1969 record in my garage, along with some other records that I got. It's pretty good. I've listened to all 3 of them. Thank God for YouTube. And they're really good. And on 2 of the 3 albums, the Colonel put together a Christmas message, Christmas greeting, featured on the record's sleeves for the listeners to read while they listen to the record. So, now that you know kind of the history behind the album, I'm just gonna read you the track list of each record and tell you what I think about the album as a whole at the end. And by the way, the first cover was basically the Colonel napping in his rocking chair, like his recliner type chair, surrounded by stockings and Christmas gifts under a Christmas tree. Really good. And the other ones were him dressed up as Santa, waving like this, and then just him smiling, kind of like what you see on the KFC bucket. And then, so yeah, I'll just get started. The first record, with the cover of him napping, surrounded by Christmas ornaments and stockings and stuff, was called Christmas Eve with Colonel Sanders. And the song listing was White Christmas by Jim Reeves, Oh Little Town of Bethlehem by the Anita Kerr Singers, the melody of Up on the Housetop, Jingle Bells, Up on the Housetop and Jingle Bells by Floyd Kramer, another melody of Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Good King, When Claus, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen by Hugo and Luigi's Christmas Chorus. It kind of sounds like Mario and his brother, but Mario Brothers. And then Oh Come All Ye Faithful by Chet Atkins. Third melody, or medley, of Winter Wonderland, Silver Bells, Winter Wonderland and Silver Bells, blah, by Harry Mancini Orchestra and his chorus. And I believe it's brother Henry Mancini went on to do the Pink Panther theme. Little side note there. Next was Joy to the World by Vic Damone. I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day by Chet Atkins. The Little Drummer Boy by the Norman Luboff Choir. And a Christmas Festival medley by the Boston Pops. And that was Joy to the World, Silent Night. It was an 8-minute medley of all the Colonel's favorite Christmas tunes that he liked to kick back to with milk and cookies on Christmas Day. And then the second record with Colonel Sanders dressed up as Santa, waving like this in the Santa suit, was called Christmas Day with Colonel Sanders. First one was Christmas Eve, second one was Christmas Day. And this one featured cover notes by Jack Mitchell. And this one, 1968, featured a long greeting by the Colonel on the back, and I will read it to you right now. He says, "Dear friends, for the Christmas season, I cannot think of a nicer way to convey my best wishes than to share this album of traditional music with you. I know that the holiday season is a very special time for all of us, a time when our families are brought together in the spirit of deep devotion and goodwill. I hope you find, as I do, that this selection of music is an especially fine embodiment of that spirit. I think of children at Christmas as they look forward to the visit from Santa Claus. I think of grown-ups as they reflect with pride and pleasure upon their families, with the memories of past holiday seasons and the vision of more to come. I think the world at large, hoping that some of the compassion we feel during this season will flow out into the rest of the year, not only for the sake of the country, but for friends and enemies. I think of these things and cannot help but hope that this album and its songs may contribute to the true spirit of Christmas. Enjoy and God bless you. Colonel Harland Sanders." And here is the compilation from 68. Christmas Day with Colonel Sanders. I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day by Ed Ames. Santa Claus Is Coming to Town by the Norman Luboff Choir. It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. Morton Gould and his orchestra were the artists on that one. Al Hirt, H-I-R-T, did Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for Mr. Sanders. And then number 5 came God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen by Chet Atkins. Number 6 came The Christmas Song, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire by Henry Mancini and his orchestra. There you go, with the Pink Panther guy again. White Christmas by Lana Cantrell. A medley of Away in a Manger and I Saw Three Ships by Hugo Winterhalter and his orchestra and chorus. Next, I'll Be Home for Christmas by Floyd Kramer. After that came a medley of what's that song? Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, which is Deck the Halls. And that was all done by the Robert Shaw Chorale. And then the second to last song on Christmas Day with Colonel Sanders was Pride of the Wooden Soldiers by the Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops. And the last song was a Jim Reeves number, Silent Night. Last one, which I own, as I said, is Christmas with Colonel Sanders, featuring a picture of Colonel in a Santa hat, smiling broadly like you see on the KFC bucket. And this was the final Christmas album offered by the Colonel, and obviously featured popular artists of the day, not the Beatles, dang it, but still a good album nonetheless. A blend, these all are blends of, I should say, instrumental and, regular singing, but they're all good stuff, man. Let me tell you, here is the longest Christmas greeting done by the Colonel. 1969's Christmas with Colonel Sanders featured this greeting, message from the Colonel. He said, and I quote, "Merry Christmas. No matter how many years go by or how old we get, that timeless greeting still contains a lot of magic in it. Another part of Christmas that never ceases to thrill us is the beautiful music of this wonderful season." XRT can tell you that. New songs are written every year for this joyous occasion, and like the traditional songs, they make our hearts grow with the Christmas spirit. Most of them bring back fond memories of earlier Christmases. Ain't that the truth, brother? My memories of Christmas as a youngster are happy ones. Times were hard on the small Kentucky farm where we lived. My widowed mother worked hard to support the 5 little ones in her brood, but difficult times were mostly momentarily forgotten when Christmas rolled around. Our tree never had many presents under it, but there was an abundance of love in the air as we gathered around to sing our favorite Christmas carols. I'll never forget those Christmas days at home. Many years later, my chicken recipe laid the foundation for the Kentucky Fried Chicken Corporation. I made my mark in life after I was 65 years old, but I must admit I always feel like a child at Christmas. Christmas always brings back a lot of memories to me, but the real meaning of Christmas has always remained the same: peace and goodwill to all men. I guess, at one time or another, we have all made the remark, if only people could keep the spirit of Christmas the other 364 days of the year, what a wonderful world this would be. Well, my friends, it is possible. But it has to start with you and me, don't you see? I hope this special Christmas album fills your hearts with the true spirit of Christmas. It might even be a good idea to take a listen to it in April or July, or September. Me, I'm listening in July. Perhaps it would help remind us of the true Christmas spirit we had back in our special day in December. May you and your family have the best Christmas ever. God bless us all. Colonel Harland Sanders. And I will say, in a little tidbit, that one of the great things that I admire about that man is the fact that he never lost where he came from, and he always sent the message to cherish the things that you have. And I always knew that his family was poor because I read his 1966 autobiography, and people who come, like, rags to riches stories, people who come from rags to riches, or people in poverty or anything like that, anybody who's experienced the lower class before, or been in the lower class before, what I'm trying to say, knows the true meaning of Christmas, especially, and what it means to really cherish all that you have and never take things for granted. And that is a couple of the things that my friend the Colonel has done and embodied, and he paid it forward in a lot of ways. Alright, that's the end of my ramble. But back to the Christmas with Colonel Sanders track list. The first song was Out of the East by Charlie Pride. Sleigh Ride, Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by John Gray. Good King Wenceslas by Morton Gould with the RCA Symphony. O Holy Night by Kate Smith. Mary's Little Boy Child by Harry Belafonte with Miller Thomas with Franz Sisius on the guitars. Jingle Bell Rock by Chet Atkins. Merry Christmas Neighbor by Lauren Green, the Cartwrights, Ben Haas, and Little Joe. My Favorite Things by Peter Nero. The First Noel by Sergio Frenchi, arranged and conducted by Marty Gold. I'll Be Home for Christmas by Lana Cantrell. And Carol for Another Christmas by Henry Mancini and his orchestra. And lastly, the thing that I will say about this album, or these albums I should say, is that they really do sound like the holiday season. I'm saying that because I'm listening to it in July. But whenever you listen to it, to them, you will get your money's worth, or you will get your listening's worth. And you will what are you doing?
Why you smile?
Nothing. I don't know.
What you watching?
Nothing. I'm doing something on the computer.
Who was that talking?
Me. Because I'm doing a video.
Oh,
No, but what I'm saying is when you listen to the album, you will hear all the music of Christmas, and you will really enjoy it, and you will thank the Colonel for putting these albums together, because he really knew what he was talking about. And you will appreciate these albums for many years to come, and that's proven because these albums are nearly 50 years old, and they're still standing the test of time. And they're available on Amazon, YouTube, and countless other places. You can get vinyl copies on Amazon and anywhere. Retro Cafe, I believe. Anywhere. But they're good treats to own. And as the Colonel would say, these albums are finger looking good, like his food. Well, that's the end, folks. Have a swell day. Peace and love.